Okay, here we are. And okay, so you are black, and like we said, you're off to a good start. This is very typical, very nice opening. And white is a little slow, so this is very solid c4, but a little slow. So this one, okay, take the corner. Now, here's the there's a very interesting proverb in Go that I really like, and it's about making noise in the east and then attacking in the west. And it's about, it tells you that, in Go, you cannot always just focus on this one thing. Okay, I want to do this, so let me just go this way. But in Go, very often you have to look at in different directions. And even though you want to attack this stone or this group or this place, sometimes it's best to begin with something else so that later, when you're prepared and when you become stronger, you can finally switch back and attack what you really wanted to attack, if that makes sense. So look, white plays this move, which is, yeah, it's not very good. Of course, white should not create more cutting points for you. White should play like this. That is the normal move. But white doesn't do it. White plays here and allows you to cut, and you cut. That's very nice. So then white extends. Now the question. In the game, you start attacking right away, which is understandable. But what if I told you that there's a better way? To prepare first, prepare, and then attack. So think about it. Take a look at this.
What if I block his escape route at M10?
M10. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. But if hmm, good question. Yeah, if you do that, then white probably needs to go this way.
And then I'm an Atari, so that needs to be K7.
Yeah, and maybe at this point, because if now white saves the stones, maybe you kill. So at this point, white doesn't have a choice. White probably needs to ignore the two stones and just keep going. And then you can just take. That is true. That is true. But in this case, white has a choice. So instead of this, you can actually do one better. Instead of just directly, because M10 is still attacking the two stones. Let me just put it. Okay, so this is A and this is B. The two stones at A, this is what you want to attack. But if you attack them now, um, maybe they escape. So how about we attack B first?
Okay, if I attack B, I just thought it was going to escape, so I wanted to, but let's see, K5.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa! That's not an okay. This is attack, but this is maybe very aggressive. So you cut immediately. But you don't. If you want to attack, there is no need to cut. This, of course, again possible. You cut. White does this. You escape. But this is complicated. Now instead of A and B, we have A and B and C. But you also have D and E. So that's a lot of immediately from a very simple opening. We're now in this crazy A, B, C, D, E, five groups fighting together. That's
I
complicated. So
didn't read that one, so
yeah. So let's simplify. Look, instead of a cut, you can just play. You can threaten the B stones in a very simple way. Just threaten them. I don't say like kill them. I mean threaten them.
okay. Oh, in that case, what about K7?
Yeah, K7 is a very natural looking simple. This strengthens your stone. Now, instead of one stone, you have two stones, and they're both stronger. And you're now directly asking white, well, white, Ocean Racer 2000, are you willing to give me the two stones? Because if white starts running into the corner or anywhere, you just take the stones. As simple as that. So white needs to protect. And if white protects, now that your stones are stronger, now you don't have to play this move that you played in the game. Now you can play something better. You can play something better to trap the two white stones. These two white stones. Can you think of a move?
Well, I'm back to M10.
M10 possible? I mean, I maybe yes. So if white plays this one, mm, a little maybe just a little bit complicated because now if you connect, maybe white starts to escape, and now you need to be careful because white is escaping. Your two stones are also in danger, so careful. Um, but there's an easier move that kind of connects all your stones because you have this stone and these stones. Okay,
Yeah.
I make them square, square, and square, and you.
So, so what about L9?
Yeah, so L9 is the move that I'm thinking about because it's connecting your stones. It's not allowing white to cut you in any way, and it's also restricting the space for the white stones, for the triangle stones to go anywhere. So once you play here, white can no longer do anything. If white pushes here, you just block. As simple as that. If white pushes here, just block. Everything is beautiful. So there's no way for white to escape anywhere. And your corner is okay. So the white stones are simply dead. And that would have been so much easier and just, immediately this gives you a lot of profit and you're winning this game. You haven't won it yet, but you're winning it. Actually, what you see. Hmm?
What I don't see, I see what you're saying now, but what I don't see during the game, those stones at A
Yeah.
have one, two, three, four liberties.
Uh huh.
My stone to the left of A has two liberties.
Uh huh.
The two stones below it have three liberties.
Uh huh.
So I'm looking at those two stones at A as having
More
too
liberties.
many liberties.
Ah, okay.
And so I'm trying to think of a way to reduce the liberties.
I see. I see. Yeah, but that's a very understandable thing. Yes, and it's just that reducing the liberties is not always the easy way. But yes,
I see that.
I see what you're doing. Yes, but surprisingly, those B stones, even though they only have two liberties, but if we imagine that there's also the C stones, then it's I kind of think of it as okay. The B stones are almost they're being helped by the C stones because the stones are so close. So it's difficult to attack the B stones efficiently because once you cut, white escapes, and then you do this one, white escapes, and difficult to kill anybody.
Yes.
So that's why. But like once you do this one, this is a very simple thing to read. When you play this move, white has no choice. White needs to either give up the two stones because you can capture them with the very next move, or white has to protect. White needs to protect. So if white protects, then again, that shape is. I can even maybe eliminate that stone for now. This is still a very standard sort of shape, and you will encounter this many times in your games. When you have two stones on the second line, like these, and then you have two stones here, and the good shape to continue this pressure, the attack, is this A point. That's the controlling move. Once you play here, very difficult for white to continue anything. If push, okay, just extend. Push, extend, push, block. Very difficult to do anything. Even if white can survive in this way, but pushing on the second line 7, 8 times is a very sad prospect for white. So white doesn't feel happy doing this, even if white can survive like this. But in the game, you're doing one better because you already have an extra stone at k10. So like this, it's easier because now that you play here, that k10 stone is helping you, and now it just becomes a very beautiful adventure when that ends right here. The white stones cannot escape. So that's one interesting thing that you can kind of remember because it happens a lot, and you will see this again. I promise you in your future games.
That's
So
good to know. Yeah,
that's a good thing to
I,
note. But actually, to be fair, what you suggested at first, your first idea is I don't think of this because this is not very intuitive. I have this. All of my training is because I've seen many situations many times, but this is something that my intuition is not telling me. But now that you suggested, I look at it and I see, oh, actually you're right. It's not easy for white to get out of here anyway. So if white starts doing this, then yeah, danger. And if this, the stones are captured anyway. So this kind of also works. Maybe white has more choices here. For example, maybe white can do this and ladder. The ladder doesn't work, but maybe this way, maybe, I don't know, connect. So this way, white is destroying the corner a little bit, the upper right corner. So this way, white can live, probably. So still there are some ways. But when we play it this way, we're not giving white any choices. It's a very straightforward move that doesn't leave any choice. It's only this, and after that, only that, and this is it. Okay, let's continue. So actually now it's still not bad, and we can still continue. So you push, extend, push again, and then at this point, white should probably just extend once again to try and live in the corner. You didn't capture, so that was a mistake. White now lives in the corner. But white doesn't do it. Or maybe white should maybe even jump like this. That is probably the best. Now this is alive. You cannot cut. Oh wait, oh can you? This is annoying, difficult. But in the game, white plays here, which is strange. So you cut, reasonable. White extends. Now, how many liberties does the A stone have? Yeah, 2. So if we don't help it now, white can capture it, right? We've seen this. Maybe we saw this a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of weeks ago when we were looking at that classic situation. Remember this kind of like dun dun dun, and the black stone there, and that black stone cannot escape, right?
right.
That was well, the black stone at M10 is the same black stone.
Yeah.
It's the same situation. So seeing this and seeing that these stones have how many liberties? 3. And what about the square stones?
Uh, 3.
Also 3. So white has 3 liberties there, 3 liberties here, and your stone has 2, and it will be captured next. That means that this is not an option. You're fighting with 2 liberties against 3. Now you've just reduced white to 2, but you also have 2. So next move, Atari and captured. So that's not a good way. We need to go back, and we need to somehow increase the number of black's liberties. The question to you, how can black do that? Or can black do that?
Well, a little, you can go M11,
Which one?
M11.
Uh-huh. And what happens? Let me just put it as, okay, I'm going to put it as 1. So black plays 1. Okay, let me remove these marks so we don't get distracted. So this one, and the A. So black plays 1. How about if white plays 2? Haha. Here comes the tricky part. Calculation, Bruce. You can do it. Think about it. I'll go get some water. Okay.
Okay, well, now black could play L12,
Uh-huh. And that would be Atari
Atari
on the 2 white stones.
on the 2 white stones.
Okay,
White,
so you play L12, 3. White needs to play 4. What next?
right, now you got a ladder.
Have you?
So you go J11.
You sure it's a ladder? Aren't you missing anything? J11. So, of course, white has to play here. But isn't that Atari on your stone? You have a stone at 3, remember?
Yes. Yeah, that's not going to work.
Okay. 6, 5. But there's something there's something easier. There's something easier than that. So you need to make sure that your 2 stones, now you have now 2 stones, M10, M11, and you need to make sure those stones have enough liberties. Right now they have 2 still yet. You got to make more. So you push 1, white blocks, you Atari, white extends. What about the stone at 2? Can you now attack it?
That's what I'm looking at. I'm trying to remember
Yeah, yeah,
which,
yeah.
which colors are which
Yeah, yeah,
number.
yeah. I know the problem. Yes.
Okay, so if I go N12,
Uh-huh.
then he's in Atari
Yeah.
and captured.
Yeah.
I should be able to get him.
And that's pretty much it. Yes. So he's an Atari, and that stone, as we know from the second line, it's the same exact stone, and it cannot escape. So you're right. It's just it's a little tricky to read. I agree, but once you see that, okay, if white blocks, but we can get this Atari, and then this one. The important thing is not to Atari from here. It looks like it's the same, but it's not. Do you see why? You kind of intuitively said N12. So you said this one, which is correct, and it captures. But what if this one? What's wrong with it?
if he goes to N12 now,
Mm-hmm.
then I can't capture so easily because I can't go to N13. He'll just take me.
Yes.
And I can't go to N11
Yes.
because he'll just take me
Yeah, so you have a shortage of liberties. You're short on
on both
liberties
sides.
on both sides. Yeah, yeah. This is a very, very unpleasant situation to be in. Yes. And that's exactly why in this corner situation, it's important to Atari from the right direction. Uh, Anywhere else on the board, it doesn't matter. But here, you have to Atari e- not like this, because yes, white extends and black cannot play here and black cannot play here, which means that black is captured. Next, white will Atari the two stones and capture them. So unpleasant. So yeah, but once you play this one, it's solved. You've solved the puzzle and you've captured the white stone. And that means that once you've captured that, you kind of also captured these three stones as well. Because now they have nowhere to run. They have three liberties and they're locked in there. But if you're alive at the bottom, if you're alive at the top, that's it. Those stones are
Yeah.
just capturing them is only a matter of time. Okay, now question number two. Bonus question. Now, if this one we know what happens, but what about if white just extends without letting you capture that stone so easily? What now?
Okay, well, now those two stones at one have three liberties.
Mm-hmm.
And and the three stones below have three liberties.
Good point.
So
Yeah,
I ought to be able just to capture those three stones now,
exactly.
correct?
Exactly. Yeah. So you have three. White has three. Now you're even. And if you're even, you can start
Whoever
the
goes
capturing
first.
race. Yeah, whoever goes first. And you go first. So you just do this move and you win the race. And then with the race, you probably win the game. So that's how you could have captured here as well. But in the game, it goes this way and then this way. And then white captures. And
Yeah.
then last, last chance. You cut here. And my question to you is what was the idea behind this? Like,
Again, I was hoping to capture those two white stones.
okay, well then it's a good thinking. But if you cut somewhere, then your whole idea right now is that the A stone becomes more precious than gold. This one stone is the one that separates the triangle stones from the square stones. Now this A
Right.
stone becomes the cutting stone. That's the one that is gonna split them apart and hopefully rip them apart and kill something. That's what you're trying to do. Yes, which means that you can never ever 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 under no circumstances give it up. And which makes it all the more surprising that when white naturally tries to escape, next move you do is this, and you
Yeah.
just give it up. And that's pretty much the end of the game. As far as I'm concerned, this is it. Yeah, the game continues, but once you've the upper left wasn't captured, and now you gave up the cutting stone. Okay, now there's nothing to do. This, of course, is nice, but it's a very feeble, reward for what could have happened. So, of course, instead of this, we extend, and now A and B, as always. And white needs to figure out how to escape. I don't know, maybe white will, but let's find out, right? Now white starts escaping here. Okay, maybe we do this one. White escapes like this, and the two white stones at the bottom are captured. Why not? This looks okay. You still have the entire lower right corner with the two white stones now. You have the upper left corner. The game is still okay. The game still goes on. But after this, no more game. Make sense?
Yes.
So if you cut, you don't give up the cutting stone. That's the whole idea. The cutting stone is the dagger that splits the two, pieces of cloth, and that will make sure that they are forever separated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Any questions? Because I'm not going to talk about the rest of the game. So if there's anything following this,
No, after this, it just was
tabadabada.
done.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay. So let's look at the second game for just a second. Then let's see. Ooh, okay. Where was it? Again against Ola Aridarum. So beautiful usernames. Who are those
Yeah.
people? Who are those people? Okay.
Review started.
This one is a lot uh, less tactical, I would say, because the first game was all about this capture that stone. How do you capture? How do you attack? This one
Yes.
is actually probably more complicated because it went into a mess right from the start. I just sent you the link.
Yeah. Got it.
Okay. So maybe the first advice that I can give you is whenever you're playing, like for example, let's say that you want to play here for some reason. You want to split this side right now. It's possible. But whenever you do something, your best bet is if you do this one, right, or this one, there's no need to be worried because this is your side. You have plenty of your stones around, so no need to worry. But once you're getting closer to your opponent, once you get into this white fortress, then you need to have a plan. You cannot just put a stone here without any idea what you're going to do next. So your plan should be, okay, if my opponent does A, I have this, and if he goes B, I have this. So you have to have at least a couple of options, a couple of possible plans in case this and in case that. So what I mean is this. Well, okay, you approach, do this. Okay, this is okay, fine. And at this point, you decide to turn this and that into this. A very reason, a very reasonable thought. Like, why not just build the entire upper center of the board and win the game? So you do this one, but it's
Yes. Now, this was kind of your fault.
was it?
Yeah. You had shown me a capping move
Oh boy.
where, where there was kind of a bowl shape and a stone down below and then capping. And I thought, well, let me try that.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. My bad, my bad. But to to make up for it, I'm gonna show you another maybe magic trick for a situation like this one. So sure, a capping move is great, but you need to have a plan what to do because of course if your opponent now calmly responds with something like this, okay, that's fine. You just pull back and there it is, beautiful. But you need to have a plan in case this happens and your opponent played a very nice move. This is a very very aggressive and but a very nice way to attack because it seems like your stone is just a little bit too far away from your forces, right? The distance between like these stones and between these stones is really it's quite far. So your opponent made a very natural decision to try and split everything. And this is what I mean by you're so close, so you need to have a plan. You need to have a plan how you're going to now proceed. And you played this one, which actually makes total sense. But your opponent cuts because this is a knight's move. This shape is a knight's move, so it can be cut. So white tries to cut, you do this, cut. And now this is actually still good for black if all the tactical complications are fine. But difficult. If a dumb player is going to continue as black, a dumb player will win this game as black. But it looks complicated. That's the problem. So we need something easier than that. So how about, first of all, if this happened, how do we make sure that this black stone can escape somewhere? Because this shape can be cut, so we need a better shape.
Area?
Which one?
I'm asking, is it you're looking for a better shape on the left side?
Well, anywhere actually. I don't want to limit your curiosity with just saying left side or right side, but
Okay.
a nice shape to somehow connect to either left or right that cannot be cut so easily. So of course, if you play, this kind of shape, very easy to cut, right?
Right, right, right.
Right. So it is possible to connect to the A stone. Yes.
Yeah.
So let me
In
help.
my did E5.
E5. Yeah, E5 is yeah. So basically, every time you're thinking of a calm shape that cannot be easily attacked or cut, or something happened to it, then you're looking for either this one or maybe sometimes this one,
Yeah.
a diagonal move. Both of these are actually fairly strong. The diagonal one is absolutely strong, it cannot be cut. The jump is sometimes can be cut, but usually it's 95% strong. Once you play this one, the knight's move, that is, questionable. Sometimes there are many, many situations when this can be cut. So of all these three, the knight's move is it's cool, but it's the weakest. So you should be the most careful when you're choosing the knight's move. So if we now go back to the game, you're right. You could play not this one because this creates a knight's move here, and between the square, this is the square and the triangle, that is a jump. But that jump doesn't matter because there's a knight's move here. So yes, if we do this one, yeah, maybe now there is a cut like here, but it doesn't matter because you don't have to block like this. You can actually go this way. If necessary, you can even give up that one stone. For example, this way, maybe even this way, if you really have to connect. Yes, white will take that one stone, but it doesn't matter because now maybe you will take, uh, maybe now you will destroy the bottom side, or you will destroy this way or this way. You'll take the center. So this way you connect. An even stronger shape, maybe this one, like I just showed you, the diagonal move. Once you play this one, impossible for white to disconnect. White does this one, just extend, connected. White does, I don't know, this one, extend, and connecting. So very difficult to cut this. Either way, black will connect to either A or B. It's going in that direction, it will connect. But if I'm black and I want to play a move like this one, maybe you don't have to go so far. Maybe just a little bit. Now that you know that there is this kind of danger, you can kind of say, you know what, maybe let me play something a little bit less. Like, for example, this move. When you play this, there can never be any danger, right? Never any in like if white plays here, oh, that's a very different story. Now white is invading inside of your area. Now that stone is in trouble, not you. So now you just play something like this, and white cannot escape from there. White has to live, and it's going to be difficult. So that is white's problem now, not yours, right?
Yeah.
But once you play
Yeah.
here, your stone is far into the white camp. You're all alone, and white says, all right, you're too far away. Let me cut. But like I promised, I promised you a magic trick in exchange for your cap. And here it is. So when you have a shape like this one, and for that matter also this one, they're the same, right? The large knight.
Yes.
There's a very nice magical way to approach to make it more threatening. The cap is nice, but there's another point, which is a little bit to the left. Here. Because the cap is not really threatening anything. So that's why white can do this so easily, because there's no continuation for you at the bottom. There's no fantastic move that will just destroy white. But when you do this one, this move threatens A next. It just threatens to cut through white directly, like a knife. And that threat is actually very unpleasant for white. So if white starts any sort of attack from here, this next, very, very unpleasant. After this move, there is no way to connect the white stones. Now, the white stones on the left, I mean these, and this stone, cannot connect. Right? If white tries this, extend.
Yeah.
White is disconnected. This threat is so annoying and so unpleasant that maybe white feels very tempted to maybe even respond something like this and connect the stones, making sure that you cannot disconnect like this. So this move is a lot more, it's just a little bit sideways, but it's making sure that it's so much more difficult for white to ignore you. And in the same way, this move. Same shape, and again, you're threatening to cut right through at A. So this is a magic trick kind of move that your opponent will be feeling a lot more urge to respond to it right now instead of trying something fancy to attack you. And once white responds to this one, you can do the other one, threaten this one too. White does this, then you cover the center, and oh, look at this. Yes, white gets the bottom, all of it. But who cares? Black has a lot more. That is the kind of position that black would be happy to get. Right?
Yeah, I was with the capping move, I was seeing ways to go down, but I wasn't seeing any, I didn't anticipate the white's jump into the center.
Yeah, but even if white doesn't jump into the center like he did, let's say white ignores you in some other way,
Yeah.
or white just goes there. But then any other move here, how to continue after the cap? You can do this one or this one, but it's a lot more complicated because you need to now read so many variations. Like, what if white cuts? And you need to cut. And now it becomes complicated very quickly. Or what if white does this one and cut like this? A lot of things to read. But when you do in this particular shape, it doesn't work all the time. But in this like large knight, this move, once you do this one, it doesn't leave any choice to white. The A move is just so straightforward and so simple that it threatens and there's nothing to do against it. And it doesn't require you to read anything. No complicated variations. Just A and done.
Yes.
Okay. And it works, for example, also, let's say white has this corner. I mean, usually black would like to approach this corner in some other ways. Maybe usually black would play something like this, or maybe even invade. But if necessary, this is also possible. And again, same threat. So every time you see this shape, this threat is possible. The only question is, do you need this e5 move or not? Is it helpful or not? Maybe in this case, not helpful. Just like this on an empty board, it doesn't look very interesting. But in that particular situation here, when you already have the entire upper side, and now a move like this one could really help you solidify your framework, then a move like this becomes precious. So that's the only thing I wanted to show you from this game.
Yeah, I didn't know those things at all. That's good.
Yeah, well, magic tricks, as promised. Okay, I stopped the recording and